So shifting gears here a little bit, you've featured your images in countless magazines like Nat Geo, Audubon, Nature's Best, and you've been in quite a few competitions and contests like NAMPA's annual showcase, National Wildlife Federation. You maybe talk a little bit about how you got into doing those.
Yeah, early on, I one of the big catalysts for me really for photography taking off for me was competing in the Wildlife in Focus photo contest down here in Texas. If you're not familiar with those, it's a pretty brutal contest. You get assigned to a property, and they give you 4 months, 3 to 4 months, depending. Every year is a little different, but usually about 4 months. And you have to shoot at that property for 4 months, and you have about 100 categories that you have to shoot, from birds to mammals to reptiles to special categories like sunsets. Sunsets. Uh, Water feature. They're all different kinds of things. And at the end of the 3 months, you submit a 100 image portfolio.
Whoa.
Now that portfolio gets judged, and you can win the different categories. In other words, you can win like the cardinal category, and then you can win like the bird division. But the big prizes are the grand prizes, which is basically the best portfolios, the portfolios that scored the best. And they're brutal because you have a limited amount of time to come up with 100 good images of stuff the variety is extreme, from anywhere from bugs all the way to birds to mammals to sunsets to landscapes, you name it. So you get to shoot a lot of stuff that it's out of your comfort zone. um, I started doing these back in 2008. I ended up doing six of them, and that was a huge catalyst for me because I fell in love with going out trying to capture things that one was not easy to capture, and two was stuff that I normally would not go after. So that was a huge catalyst for me in terms of competing. And I was very blessed. I did very well. Out of the six that I competed, I did extremely well. And then I started doing a couple of the national contests, and I won a couple of them. I won Nature's Best, the wildlife category, Nature's Best. I've been best of showing Nampa a couple times. I've done well. I've done well in contests, and it's always good to know that what you're putting out, the work that you're putting out, people like it. And for me, I still compete in some of the big ones. I don't do as much as I used to anymore, but it's just good to get your name out there, and to see that that you're creating imagery that's still appealing. You're creating imagery sets you apart from the rest. Like I said earlier, I like to create images that are different. I like to create perspectives, things that are not normally seen, or capture a subject a little bit different, and that will make an image stand out. And then that's usually what I enter in photo contests and see what kind of results I get from them.
Yeah, for sure. And it helps you stand out too, I imagine.
It does. It helps you stand out, and I'll be honest with you, it keeps it interesting for me. It keeps me wanting to do more, because it's a challenge, right? Sometimes I'll come up with an idea. I come up with an idea. I want to photograph this specific subject this way, and it's going to be, I have to come up with the plan or trying to figure out how to do that. I remember back in the early days before I knew about PhotoTrap, I wanted to photograph a flying owl at night, in flight. I wanted to catch a great
Whoa.
horned owl in flight at night. This is before I knew
Lofty goal.
this is before I knew anything about PhotoTrap. With PhotoTrap now, it's easy, right? But this is way before I knew anything on that. And I set up a plan. I kind of knew where they were coming in, and it took me, I don't remember, but it took me about 2 3 months of about, I don't know, 20 30 nights going out there trying to do it until I finally got it. So I'm very driven, kind of driven for things like that, and I'm still that way, and that's what keeps it interesting to me. I mean, to me, the photo, of course, is great, but what I really enjoy is the whole process of going out there, hunting with a camera, hunting a subject, on how you're going to catch him. You have an idea of an angle or perspective that you want to capture, and coming up with the plan to do it properly, right? And to me, that's the most interesting part. That's the most interesting thing of what I do.